tape. I don't know what happened, but come down. How are you?
Alright, as soon as the bus comes back. Alright,
Alright, oh, your turn.
my name. Okay, I am Carol Dawn de Aguilar Ivy. As most of you know, Ivy, Daddy. Most of you know, I was married to Mr. Ivy. Still in touch with him. No offense, but life goes on. Got married pretty early. I was schooling at 72. Went on to work by the January of 73. February of 73. I went to JBC, Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation. With my, funny enough, I got that job. I should must tell everybody because my brother, who has Down syndrome at the time, was going to the school for the mentally retarded down at university where you go down that road. He was going there, and my mom met a lady there who had a son like Mark. And she saw me coming to pick up Mark more than once, and she said to me, "What am I doing?" So I said, "Well, I just leave school and looking a job." Because my parents weren't rich, so they'd never have no money to send me on to university at the same time. I have siblings who was, growing up. My father died when they were only about 12 and 9. So we had to look at life a little bit different. She asked me what I was doing, and I told her I was looking a job, but I was willing to go back to school. And she said, "Okay, come in for the interview." And I come in for an interview, and I went and I got the job. If I went there the Friday, by the following week I was there working. That job I held for 20 odd years. My early days I went to Anderson Secretarial College because at that time I think that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a secretary. So I went and did shorthand and typing and all the other little things that people do and got your certificates and all of that. But I realized media was totally different. It was not a secretarial job, and it's not a job at that time. You never have Harry Mack and the places that you could go and learn the work, learn what I was doing. It was hands-on on the job. So, no, not the typewriter. The typewriter was good because you could go anywhere. You could go to a school and learn typewriting and shorthand. The production type of work that I was in at JBC, you could only get it there at JBC or maybe GIS or one of those other medias because I didn't have Carimac at that time. So I was at JBC, although I had my certificate in secretarial work. I was never a secretary. I went into production and events coordination and all of those things. Now, production saw me working on a lot of programs, local programs like Oliver at Large, Titus, Win Some, Lose Some. I mean, I've the Jazz in the Gardens, the Sun Fest. I was just out. The Sun Fest, everything. I was out. It took me to places like New York to the big shows, Miami, Dominica, Trinidad, Guyana, all over the place. Because once you're in the production line and a show is happening and they choose you to go, you go as the production coordinator and you set up the areas, you set up interviews, you meet the artists, so you meet a whole heap of people. It was like a grand work. It felt more like enjoyment than work, but it really was work. So you have to know, say, you start 3 a.m. some mornings, 2 a.m. some mornings, finish till maybe 2 a.m. the next morning. That is the reality of that kind of work, which I totally enjoyed. I spent 2 years in Barbados at the CBU. I was on secondment at the CBU, learning the different aspects of media. I became the what do you call it now, some kind of production manager and all kind of things. But most of all, I know I was working. It was work, and I truly love what I do. I must say that.
Wonderful.
Truly love it. It's a job that I enjoy. But then after 20 years, I left and I was involved in Boone Hall where I live, at Golden Spring and the community. And person looked up to me, they really wanted me to run as a councillor beside L'Oreal. But I said I didn't want to go into politics. But I took it on at a level that I was responsible for the entire scheme. So people think says me did own Boone Hall scheme because I was responsible for the upkeep, the maintenance, everything. So I actually bought my lawnmowers, all kind of things. I was a property manager there and became the president and used to go represent them at NHT and all kind of things, the Strat and what have you not. So I was involved there and I decided, well, I'm going to take a break from media, which I did, and said this is now what I want to do, property. But then, long story short, I went overseas and spent like 2 years, and I never liked it either. So I came back home, and when I come back home, I find myself, I said, I don't want to go into no big media house. I just want to stay in a small media house. So I went to Media Mix, and after about 6 months I left Media Mix, I went to Hot 102, a radio station. Whether that was fortunate or unfortunate, because I think I was at a small place. Then CFM bought Hot 102, so I end up back in a big media house again. So I said, but after I think I leave media, I go right back to square one, because I'm now in a big CFM, where it's like I am replaying my life. And I did that for another 12 years. And I left and went to Cal's Manufacturing as their promotions and marketing manager. Now this is totally new to me, but it's manufacturing.
Oh, sorry. Don't get wet.
Eh?
Pull,
It's me?
pull away from that.
The water dropping
Water
down.
just-
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's a problem.
Just pull away, sorry.
Yeah.
Cal's Manufacturing, as you know, is the makers of the bag juice, bag juice, Cal's bag juice, syrup, ketchup, lime juice, vinegar. Right now, I was talking to them because we're going to promotion tomorrow.
Yeah.
Although I'm retired, but it's not one of those persons who sit down. I love to be on the move. Like my
Put it
dear
in front.
teachers would have taught me from early
Pull them
my
in from
life.
it.
Because we had that kind of relationship where you could sit down with your teachers and they showed you how life is and what life is all about. And that is my beginning. I must say, today I cherish and I will always cherish my memories at Oberlin. It is the place that stabilized us to be who we are today. And I will always look back at those great days. So I continue as I approach my 70th birthday. I continue to say give God thanks. It has not been totally smooth sailing. I've had my ups and downs. But I give God thanks for His mercies and His grace. He has been indeed very, very good. And it don't make sense to quarrel and fight and say, boy, you know, have all this empire and this and this and this and this. Because when this is all said and done, we are all going to leave it. So it's us to live happy with each other, love each other the best way we can. If I sound like I'm preaching, I really want to preach because I want us at this point in our lives, if we don't find it yet, is to understand that all is here is just nothing. We are for each other, and that is what will keep us true. So it's nice for me to be here. I feel so happy. You would not understand the feeling. So again, nice seeing everybody, and we look forward to a good afternoon.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
L'Oreal. Yes,
It work. It's
Yeah.
Alan.
Yeah. I'm Alan George Reynolds. Started Oberlin from 1967 and associated with my schoolmate like Duke, Joe, Ray. Then we had a grand time at Oberlin. I can recall I was going to Oberlin. We had like a farm down the bottom.
Leslie.
Yeah, no, and Leslie was there.
Leslie, and we used to cook.
Yes, all type of things. But during the evening now, we used to go down the bottom there and pick the oranges. You understand? And I used to have a bag, they used to call me taxes collector. They used to put a few of the orange in the bag. And when I passed the orange tavern, one evening we go and I saw this orange tree, but you had like sour orange and sweet orange. So I load my bag with
Sour
orange. Sour orange. So we used to walk like Horace Davison. We used to walk home. So I'm ready to pull my bag, man. It's be so orange. Man, we used to have fun. We used to go to the orange tavern, you know, at Champs Bakery there. And they used to sell like the bulla. And you could use choppings and buy a bag of bulla. Yeah, we used to get 4 or 5 bullas for choppings. Man, you see, we roll the bulla on the ground, take them up and bite them. Going home. I tell you, it was really fun.
All right.
What is pudding?
Yeah.
All right.
After leaving Oberlin, I didn't graduate. I left because things was really tough. I left in 1971. So some of these guys did an extra year. I left and got my first job. Mr. Mason, the counselor there,
Top road.
he about a job for me, and I got a job at KSAC as a field assistant. From there, I was there for a few years. Then I got a course to go to, it was then CARS, Construction Technology, which I spent 2 years. Then I never explored that field. After, I wanted to go faster. Then about 25 or so I was when I entered the life insurance. There in life insurance, ups and down. I was there, I did very well. Then I spent 10 years in life insurance. The company was Alico, and I went in management. Then I was getting bored. I had to wear jacket and tie almost every day. I said, I don't want this. So I spent 10 years being a manager, and then I left and went into business, all sort of business all over the island, from Kingston to Negril. Found myself in Negril doing various business. Okay, then I even venture in agriculture, US agriculture, the coffee industry, and after I entered dealing with games machine, entertainment, bars, thing like that. It's been a long period.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I do, and over the years, I always crave to meet some of my schoolmates, because Oberlin was our school. I always wanted to go back to Oberlin to see what is happening. When I heard of this, I was elated and wanted to meet some of these guys, which we familiar with long ago. I'm here now. I'm retired, but still in business, and it's a long story. I don't want to go back, tell everything.
Yeah.
So it's a long story. I'm here and happy. Money is not everything, as what Carl had said. It's nice for us to meet together, enjoy life, and do the right thing. And I hope we can continue to meet. I appreciate all our teachers, Ms. Ford, Ms. Scott, Mr. Coombs. I can recall when we was graduating, I think Miss Ford took us to Castleton Garden, where we had a party. You remember?
Yes.
I enjoyed that party so much. Believe me, all the while I remember it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, we walked. So I'm here, and as I say, I'm not going to bore you. My life is happy. I'm still in business, and I think we can and will continue to meet and
Okay.
do what you say. Okay?
All right. So I'll do mine. Yeah.
What I didn't remember to tell you that I was a United Nations observer to the South African election,
Yeah.
and that I was the Jamaica representative for the Confederation Trade Union. So I was able to tour most of South Africa to observe the election process there, and to also mention that I've been a delegate to several international conferences in South Africa, Malaysia, Turkey, Mexico, UK, and went to Dubai, and quite a number of international areas.
All right. Thank you. So who's gonna take me now?
Yeah.
Who is the expert? You're the camera. Don is the TV guy.
Don is a producer. Don is a production specialist. Don is a production. I know her from,
We just continue it.
I follow Don at,
We're using this.
I follow Don at Power 106.
Eh?
She did several JT conferences.
Oh, yes.
Closer, Don.
Come closer to you?
Yes.
Don,
Yeah?
she did several JT conferences.
I know, hold it, yes.
You need a lot.
Somebody can go hold the light.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
No, Andrew.
Still shooting?
I'm just.
Yeah, I need to press the record button.
It went
It's
on.
on? No, I don't. You tell me. I don't see it going. No, sir.
It's
still
still
going.
still
Recording?
Yes, still recording.
Okay.
Are you still seeing me?
Yes, just stay.
Well,
5 minutes or
Yes.
less. 5 minutes or less.
Right.
I won't keep you long. I'm Shippy, shipwreck from back then, and surprisingly, I'm now using that name I'm a Go blogger. I've traveled the world as Shippy the Explorer.
Wow.
So you see, you have had a name from way back, and now I'm using it.
Right.
But basically, I want to thank Mr. Coombs, Mrs. Ford, Miss Scott, all the teachers that were instrumental in having me at Hoberlin. Because I'm one of the students who came in, I couldn't pass scholarship. And Mr. Welburn came over and said, send the boy over. And as soon as I went to Hoberlin, my brain's open. And it's like it was a whole world. I moved to the top of the class and all that. So that was 69. 69 I came, or 68. 68 because the dollars changed 69. Yes. So basically I've moved from there and did all my GCs, went on to CAS and became a teacher. Came back to Hoberlin and taught for 2 years.
Okay.
And then after that, I left for the United States. I worked at the World Bank for 24 years. And during that time, history was always in my mind. Miss Ford calls that. So I'm a self-made genealogy for the Giscombe family. One of my greatest love is that I've been researching the Giscombe family from 1972 until now. And I've written a book. It's like all a documentary, one book. Then I've done the other book, which is Three Fathers, based on it's a memoir, almost like a autobiography. And this week, the book is now on Amazon.
Okay.
And then I went to Australia to find my cousins who left Jamaica in 1840 something.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to Scotland. They're white. Found them. They went back to Scotland, and one of them went to Australia. And when they found my book, they said, "Oh, we're researching the Giscombes. Send us a book." And I said, "You're still alive." So I packed up and I went to Australia. And all and behold, we have people in Australia.
Wow.
So I'm going back to Australia in August to spend some time with them. So basically, I'm a writer, I'm a genealogist, and I'm also a member of the Disciples of Christ Church in Washington, where I'm also on the trustee board. So based on the education we have gotten at Hoberlin, I said, thanks to the teachers, and we have done well.
Yes.
So go on Amazon, buy the books when it's out, and go on the YouTube and subscribe to my station.
Okay.
Shippy
Good.
Explorer.
Nice PR.
I'm a shipwreck.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna have. We want to do any other friends and teachers? Well, let's do this. Let's do this gentleman over here. Kwame gonna tell us a little about yourself.
No, I'll be very brief.
Very brief. Okay.
I'm Kwame Boafo from Ghana, in West Africa, some of you may know. And I've been around the world, let's put it that way. There was one time when my wife over there decided to take on the map the number of countries that I've visited or where I have lived. I've lived in 3 continents. I've lived in Africa, of course I've lived in Europe. I lived in France for about 13 years in France. And then I have lived here since 2006. Visited about 98 countries in the world. And that's what opened my eyes, with the number of countries that I've lived in. And I came here, we got married about 15 years ago, and I've enjoyed my stay in Jamaica. Principally because if you have been to Ghana, you realize how similar it is. Like Jamaica is like a tiny version of Ghana. And Rita Mali used to live in Ghana for a very long time. Now I'm told that she's somewhere in the US or a neutral part of the time here. But I've been grateful, and I'm still grateful to the Lord for taking me around the world. And showing me the differences in cultures, the differences in human beings and populations, how we behave, how we relate to each other, and stuff like that. One of the most interesting experiences I had was actually in Russia, where I stayed. I didn't live there, but I stayed there for about a week. I was, so to speak, stranded there for about a week because I'd been to Finland, and then on my way back, the flight that was supposed to take me from Moscow back to Ghana was delayed. So I was caught up in this hotel where I stayed, and then had the opportunity of visiting the Kremlin and seeing how, and I was quite surprised, and this was in the 80s, I was quite surprised that the biggest and the longest cars I've ever seen in my life was in this socialist, country. But all in all, I'm grateful to the Lord for taking me around and exposing me, to different cultures, exposing me to different sets of humanity, in the world. Since coming here in 2006, I've had the opportunity of being to virtually all the Caribbean, English-speaking Caribbean countries, as well as to Puerto Rico and Cayman Islands. Those are the two, countries that I've really enjoyed. And I've enjoyed my stay in Jamaica, and I've been being taken well care of, very well by my wife over there, Marie, sister to
L'Oreal.
To L'Oreal. and his wife. Somebody mentioned and her sister. Somebody mentioned the name of Melody, who lives in Florida.
Yeah.
I do not want to make this long because I don't want to talk about my high school days or secondary school days, etc., etc. But I would like to say that when I was in Michigan State University, where I did my PhD, I met a gentleman from Trinidad and Tobago, and we became very friends. And I expressed, and this is quite some time ago, I expressed the wish to this gentleman of visiting the Caribbean. Little did I know that not only will I visit the Caribbean, but I'll be spending quite a bit of time in Jamaica and had the opportunity of visiting other Caribbean countries.
Wonderful.
I think this is really, grosso modo, what I would like to say. And I've enjoyed and listened to all the different, life stories that people have mentioned. And what I would say is that I wish each and every one of you the best in terms of what the Lord has actually prepared for you, and the best with your family, and the best with your friends, and the best with the jobs for those who are still working. And for those who are like me who have retired, I wish that you enjoy your retirement.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Scott?
Yes. How may I help you?
Army doing support. We're supposed to keep her awake.
Okay.
Getting tired now. We almost finished.
Yes,
Let's-
I am from a family of My parents had 12 of us. Well, 13, because my father had one outside brother that we didn't know of for a while. So I am saying that all 12 of us went to some tertiary institution. 6 boys, 6 girls. From I was 4 years old, I knew I would be a teacher. Because all my siblings were playing with clay dolls and other things that they were making. And I was teaching the trees. 1 + 1 equal, 2 + 2 equal, you know. So I knew that I would teach. When I started teaching, I taught 2 years as pre-trained before I went to college at my district. And some of the young people my age were already on 15, 16. The government wouldn't employ you until you were 18. But when I was 17 and a half, the head teacher sent for me. He said, come and see me, and I went to see him, and he said, you start teaching here as of Monday.
That's Labyrinth?
That's Labyrinth. That was under teacher Higgins, it was WW?
WW Higgins.
Yes. And
With
then,
the Mark Day.
huh?
With the Mark Day after.
I went, yes, he went to Mark Day after, or somewhere in St. Thomas.
Yes, okay.
Williams, something in St. Thomas. Anyway, I applied for college. And this was the year when they decided that they were going to double the intake into colleges because teachers were short. So they started a 2-year program instead of a 3. So in 1967, I was the first batch of interns. I was interned at Cavaliers Old Age School up in the hills of St. Andrew. And that's where I met George's wife, Joan. Joan was in I taught the scholarship class. She was the only one who passed for St. Mary's High. And later on when I went from Cavaliers to Unity, up in the other part of St. Andrew, up in the hills still, with Miss Bailey. With Miss Bailey. Yes. Bailey. I was there a year, and I think a term. And Mr. Welburn, the white man from
my brother taught at Unity, but I don't know it.
Yes. The white man from down at Oberlin was the chairman of the school board up there. He was visiting one day and saw me. I think he saw me teaching, I'm not sure, because most of my teaching was like outside the classroom was so hot and small that I would take the children outside under a tree or on the playfield somewhere. And I think that most of the children would learn through activities. So I was always singing a song and letting them follow the leader. And that's how they learned, because Mr. Whiteley, who was the principal at the time, said, how come we couldn't get the kids to learn so and so and you are getting them? So I told him, follow the leader. Follow me when I go outside with the kids and see what we do. And he would do it. And I don't have such a beautiful singing voice like my sisters, but it was, if we were teaching them the days of the week, because they were small kids, it would be Monday was a washing day, Tuesday was the ironing day, Wednesday, and they learned quickly because they were singing and doing actions. So I am up at Unity, and Mr. Welburn said to the principal, Miss Bailey, I want that teacher down at Oberlin. So when he came to me, I said, no, I can't do that. I just started here. I've done a year. I just received from the ministry my permanent status, because you know you had to do 3 months at least before you got permanent status. I said, I just got that from the ministry, so I can't move unless I serve 3 months notice. He said he was the chairman of the board and he could release me. So he released me and I went down to Oberlin, and I stayed 7 years.
At Oberlin. Which year you went to Oberlin?
I don't remember. I think it was early 70s.
Okay.
Because if I left college in 67, I was at Cavaliers. Yeah, about, yes.
You were living in Golden Spring.
I was living in Golden Spring. I spent about 7 years at Oberlin. In the 70s. I left.
And your sister?
My sister
So-
was
Your
teaching,
sister were living in Golden Springs.
yes, my sister was teaching at Unity too.
All right.
But they went back home to Labyrinth.
So let's-
And your brother was at Oberlin.
Yeah.
My brother Earl,
Yeah.
he spoke about you just recently and Carol. He told me he
Yeah.
saw Carol. And I told him I saw you at the luncheon.
So let's do Miss Miss Ford, and then we come back.
No, you don't
Next
have to
day.
come back to me because mine is
Long,
done
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
I did Norman Manley, and I did Housecraft, and then I went to the United States where I did.
Mr. Coombs on here.
I just
Fall
came
asleep.
back from the. Mr. Coombs was teaching at Oberlin when I was teaching at Oberlin. I
Right.
don't know why he don't remember me, but
I still show you the picture. It's all right.
yeah, I went to the United States. Did not stay in teaching. Went into nursing, and the nursing that I did was a traveling nurse. So I was all over the place. I learned the United States through my job. I was in Kentucky, I was in Wisconsin, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, all over. And got so many different experiences from different families, different white families, to their culture and all like that. I mean, most people think I'm Jewish because most of the families I did were Jewish, and I learned their ways. So it was an adventure. My whole life has been an adventure. And earlier I was telling the few people who were here about the sicknesses that I have been through, and I'm still standing. So you're looking at a walking miracle,
Yeah.
you know. So that's about. But God has been extremely good to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I ask him why he loved me so much. I think he loved me more than all of you in here put together. and that's the truth.
All right.
So I'm still standing, and recently I've been asking him why.
Yeah.
Because he must have some other work for me to do here, or else I would have been gone. The adversary came at me so many different times in so many different ways, you know. So God has been good, and before I leave, I must pray for you.
Okay.
Okay,
Miss-
I've been sitting here, and the mandate is pray for him.
For
And
me?
I know exactly what I have to pray. So when you're finished,
Oh.
I'll do that.
All right.
Okay.
Miss Ford.
Me?
Yes. Shirley Thompson.
All right. I come from Manchester. My father was a school teacher. Came to town.
Look at me.
Came to town. Went to Excelsior. Left Excelsior and worked at the Department of Statistics. I wanted to be a social worker, and I hated the work of statistics. Figures, I wanted to be a social worker. Didn't know how to get there. Anyway, I don't learn exactly, but I saw where teacher scholarships were going for University of West Indies, so I applied, I got a scholarship. I graduated. When I graduated, I said, boy, I'm not staying at home because I can't teach people right here, so I failed. So I left. I saw an advertisement for a place called St. Mary High. I applied, I went there, I did 4 years there. I met a little young guy there. We developed an affair. And I said, youth, we can't stay here. We can't stay here if we're going to go on with this affair. Can we go to town? So we came to town. He went to Penwood and I went to Oberlin. And there I taught at Oberlin for a number of years. Fell in love with a boy named Lawrence Thomas. And he with me. And a secret. Love is a funny thing we never did anything.
Right, just in love.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I left Oberlin, went to Murgo. I think it was while we were at Murgo that me and the brother from, I tell you about the brother that I met at Mary High. And me and the brother got married. And I went to Murgo, spent my days, most of my days at Murgo. I never had any children. When I wasn't having any children, doing what people do to have children, I went to a doctor. And he felt my belly and he said something wasn't right. He opened me and he said my womb was turned over. In consultation with others, he took out the womb, so I have no babies. Not a reach.
You didn't have no babies.
Yeah, but before that,
Oberlin.
oh, I got to Oberlin.
You never married to the man. You married to the man. You never have no kids.
Then I have no kids. And at Oberlin, I enjoyed Oberlin immensely. The kids were easier than the Mary High kids. They were easier to handle. Fell in love with Laurel Thomas. He don't want me to talk and be with me. War with them. I don't know fear, but we knew. Went on out into what place name?
Castleton.
Castleton. So that already.
Uh-huh.
And instead of jumping around with the little young girls, the little worthless boys, they're holding my hand. We never got into anything. We were,
That's friends.
well, we knew we loved each other, but we were just friends. Yes. And then I said, okay. And this was Oberlin, right? I left Oberlin and went to Margrove.
Yes.
I spent the rest of my days at Margrove.
Can we have a commercial break, please?
Well,
No, it's just soon.
we'll do some Coombs. And then we do Mr. Coombs, and that's it. One more.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. But me and Laurel Thomas is still friends.
Okay.
Just a commercial break.
Let me still do Mr. Coombs and
Yeah,
then.
we can do the commercial break, then what?
Yeah.
Commercial break.
Go ahead.
All right.
The meal is ready. Okay, so by the time Lord is finished interviewing Mr. Coombs, then it will be served. We're going to ask our teachers to come to this table where it's more comfortable to eat from. I think you can manage yourself better here. Am I right?
We'll
All
try.
right.
We'll try.
Yes.
What happened to
So
the rest of the
we
people?
will.
No,
find
finish
out.
it, man, finish it.
They are going to be sitting wherever. What the
No,
menu
no,
is
no,
fish and jerk chicken, festival and
Everything.
breadfruit plus drink.
Everything.
Okay? Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Coombs,
Yeah.
your time to tell us
The chemistry man.
when you came from England to Oberlin. Tell us a little bit about your life.
What you want me to do?
Tell us some about your life, especially around coming to Oberlin.
And the Morrison, no, the Ford Escort.
And the Ford Escort you used to burn with kerosene.
With what?
Kerosene.
Kerosene oil
Yeah.
in the country?
No, tell us why did you come to Oberlin?
When he came to Oberlin in 1970.
1970, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you still may remember.
Let me see. I don't know.
Were you recruited? Did they recruit you from England?
Yes. What happened? I was working as a
This is Mr. Coombs.
analytical chemist.
What's his full name?
And
Uh-huh.
I did a lot of work. I remember we used to sell things to France.
Yeah.
And they could not well some of the things we sell them. And they sent it to the boys with their PhD, and they couldn't find out what was wrong.
Uh-huh.
It was things that was made from things that I'm trying to aluminium,
Uh-huh.
and they make field coil with the aluminium, and they could not weld it. But what was wrong was the impurity.
I don't know if oxide.
Once the impurity is over 1%, it becomes very brittle.
Uh-huh.
And I found out that the impurity in it was above 1%.
1%. Uh-huh.
And I said to my boss, Dr. Mattison, he was in charge of my lab.
Excuse me, there was about Lucas's?
Lucas's.
Yes, in England, yes.
Yeah. And I wanted to come back to Jamaica. So I told him that my mother was sick and she may die. So I resigned. He said, no, you can't resign like that. We need you. Anyway, I convinced Dr. Mattison that I have to go back to Jamaica.
Yeah. And that's when you come to Oberlin.
Well, when I convinced him, I applied to the Jamaican High Commissioner for a teaching job in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And they sent me to Oberlin.
Okay.
But other places wanted me.
Right.
But I decided to go to Oberlin.
Yeah.
And
And
that was
the rest is history.
that was very good because the students there were appreciative
Receptive.
Yeah.
of my
All the right things.
Yes.
of my chemistry and physics knowledge to teach them.
Right.
And having spent 7 years at Oberlin,
Yes.
I felt it was time
8 years.
for me. 8 years?
8 years.
It was time for me to leave. And then I went to Calabar.
Okay.
And Calabar was, students were not so accommodating, but they were brighter than Oberlin students. They were
Yeah.
much brighter. And I spent what? I spent 19 years at Calabar and taught physics and chemistry. But I wanted to leave England and come back to Jamaica because I feel that I would do better in Jamaica than England. So I applied to the British High Commission and they allow me to come to Jamaica, pay my passage and
Yeah.
everything, and allow me to come to Jamaica.
So I understand your company own you own your own company.
Yes.
Say it again?
You own your own company.
Yes, it was
That wasn't yet. That wasn't yet.
Okay.
When I came to
Okay.
Calabar, that's when I owned my own company.
Yes, I remember
I
that.
started to manufacture
What's the name of the company?
solar power company.
Yes,
Solar
Coolant
power.
and so forth.
I
Oh.
manufacture
Coolant.
toilet bowl cleaner, drain cleaner,
Yes, coolant.
coolant,
Yeah.
windscreen washer,
Yes, I remember those.
and water hot water, deionized water.
Yes, heavy water.
Huh?
Very nice for batteries.
Yes.
For battery, deionized water,
Yeah.
and drinking and a lot of other things. Deionized water was pure water, no, you know,
Yes.
mix.
Started this is in 1985.
It started in 1985.
That's right.
Okay.
And Fitzroy Morrison was the main product of his teaching at Oberlin. Because I followed his footsteps into chemistry.
Okay.
Yes, that pure, the
remember
deionized water was
elasticity.
pure water.
Right. Wonderful.
Huh?
That is great.
The point of Fitzroy Morrison was who followed his footsteps
Yes, he followed him,
in production.
and I followed him for a little while too
Yeah,
because
but he's still in
it's still in production.
Yeah, on the products.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
I
have
did.
it as
I did.
cutaway, lift it
He
up,
also
right.
made products.
You have to have it as cutaway, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The result
They
of,
say that of his
the
work, this is
result
what,
of
yeah.
Coombs teaching, the result of into that era.
Right. Wow.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
I tell you,
So I followed Ford and him followed him.
and I follow Miss Ford. I'm on my third book.
So,
Third book.
I will buck her up in a church again.
So,
One of our preachers.
so basically, I'm finally gonna say welcome. Oh. So sorry I didn't get the meal, but it's okay. Watch through a video guy. You okay? Good. More drinks, Mr. Coombs? Need more drinks? Okay. All right. And this is Operation. I'm gonna keep a dumpling. Hmm. Okay. Means I'm not scared. She was dancing the other day, so you're not scared. We have something leave?
Yeah.
Is that left over? Okay. Festival good, man.
Then I got the pepper served with mustard fish. A little pepper and onion.
Oh.
Friends and colleagues, as we depart, we ask you to guide us, bless us, so that when we meet again, we'll be bigger and better. The best is yet to come. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Anybody would like some mangoes to take?
Yes, man.